Well, today is Friday, the 15th of November, 2024. All right. I had to say that pretty slow to make sure I got it right. That old age thing, or at least I understand that's what it might be. The elderly gentleman trying to get something out. Anyway, I thought today I'd talk a little bit. I had a couple of channels wanted to discuss my channel and content on it. Somebody had called me up and had some emails, and some of them even came on my channel and said, "Do you know who's talking about you, Ray?" I said, "Probably everybody." They said, "No, that Fox person over there and that umbrella guy, we're kind of raking you over the coals a little bit." I have to go and see what they had to say. So I listened to a little bit of it, and I realized that it really didn't matter what they're talking about. I got a little chuckle out of it. I make no bones about the fact that, yeah, I'm getting up there in age, and I've probably slowed down considerably, and surely I've had some onset of the shortcomings of coming of age. But I was listening to him a little bit, and the guy on there, he goes, "And did you hear about what I heard the other day?" And the other one say, "Oh no, what was it?" And say, "Well, this is what I heard about that elderly gentleman." And the other one says, "You know what? I heard something too." I got to thinking about it. Then I said, as old as I am, I can remember sometimes when kids, way back, second, third grade, whatever it was, when they, every class had a tattletale. And it reminded me so much of how some of those tattletales talk, and they change their voice a little bit. They go, "And you know what I heard? Oh, you would not believe it. Oh, this one did that. Oh, and you know what they're up to? Do you believe that?" And the other one will be just, "Oh, I heard something like that too. Everybody is just upset with it." Oh. I haven't had a good laugh in a long time, and I gotta admit there was a belly laugh. And when I think about it, it's still funny. So, the two of you are having such fun. I don't want to break it up. I just wanted you to know, yeah, you got my attention for a minute or two, but quite frankly, it was boring. And at my age, I'm about as interested in what 8-year-olds have to say as an 8-year-old would have to listen to me. I understand your perplexity in trying to understand someone my age. After all, in fact, your IQ apparently is on line with somebody much younger than you are. So, yeah, you'll be young a long time. I can see that right now. Oh, that's okay. Oh yeah, and I know that one. They even told me you said something about "F you," right, or something like that a while back, and I thought that's not nice. But listen, I understand it. If you lack the vocabulary to talk like an adult, go ahead and do the best you can. I'm not going to short you for that. I mean, at least you're out there trying, right? So here's to you, the two of you. Have a great day, both of you. As far as everybody else out there, I'm lucky enough that even though I don't have a lot to say on my channel, the people that come here, most of them appreciate what I'm talking about. And I know some of them get very upset because, well, I'm not always on the right side for them. You can't please everybody. And I think I talk about that quite a bit, saying that in this world, it's a 50-50 world, half hate, half don't. And, people today have a different view on who is a friend or who is not. This media itself seems to be the designation for telling somebody that they're your friend, even though you may have never met them, you know nothing about them, and you give them that little check mark. Well, I don't really judge people so much about whether they say they like me or love me or hate me. But I do go by the works and the things that come out of their mouth as far as what they're doing, or if they're tattletales, like what I see on there. When I hear him talk like that back and forth, two people, I almost see them looking over their shoulder or something to see if somebody's close enough to hear them, because they want anybody else to hear them, right? And yet they'll do it on a channel like this, back and forth, raking somebody over the coals. If you have something to say, you can come on my channel and put it down there and give your opinion. You don't have to hide behind the mic or typewriter or anything else. Of course, I realize that the umbrella guy, he wears a mask. He's not going to take it off to be on here because he don't want anybody to see the expression on his face or the crinkle in his eye, right? Now Megan, she's a different story. She likes to get on there, and you can see her in her face, and sometimes she's in your face as far as that goes. So she's not afraid to speak her piece. But I guess that's what surprised me the most, when the two of them get together, when they act in a juvenile manner, right? Wow. Okay, let's get back down to, I hope everybody out there is having a great Friday. I know Michelle and John and their daughter are looking forward to new horizons. They're getting a fence out there. I also know that there was somebody apparently had put a thread out there about trying to get it burned. What's wrong with people that do things like that? I mean, who in the world would want to set fire to somebody's fence? It's a gift. And a lot of people, they gave from their heart. And it took a lot of people to put that whole thing together, and somebody wants to destroy it with the lighting a match. That's dumb. I mean, really stupid. So, no hats off to that person. Now, I don't know where else who they chum with, or I guess maybe it'll come out whose channel they hang out on. Maybe we can figure out how many others are behind something like that, where they threaten that stuff. This whole threatening body harm to somebody, and I can understand a little bit where you try to say hurtful remarks because you get your butt hurt, so you say them back. And that's, I guess you could call that just life. It really is. Nothing really is going to surprise me a whole lot anymore. The disappointments, yeah. No matter how old you are, you can get disappointed with people. If you let them get in your head, well, then, that's your problem. That's the way I look. And apparently, from what I understand, there's been quite a few people that came to me and said, hey, you've been raked over the coals by more than just one or two people. And I said, well, I must be living in their heads. I must be doing something right or wrong on here, right? Which is kind of a funny deal, because most of the people that come here aren't in that mode. They're not trying to threaten somebody else, or very few anymore are coming to threaten me. There have been some in the past, but it's been less and less. And a lot of them, I warn them once or twice, and then I ask them to leave, and then I make sure they can't come back on here. But they're free to go to somebody else. That's just the way it is. I'm not the only channel out there that gets controversial from time to time. And I try to stay as much away from politics as possible, because since we all have our own opinion, and there are others that won't listen from one to another. And there's a lot of people think that that I probably always supported one party, and that's just not true. I have supported the both parties at different times, not at the same time necessarily, but at different times. And sometimes it has to do with the people that are running, and sometimes it may be the policies that I'm for or against. You see, there are times out there where you have to vote against something that you feel may harm the country, or maybe even your own well-being, financial well-being, or whatever. And when you're up there in age, you're on a fixed income, such as I am, and you're very worried about the country's stability, because if for some reason the country takes a big hiccup, your income does too, because you're very dependent on the smooth running of this machine. If the stock market is down, obviously, if I'm invested in the stock market heavily, then I'm going to get nailed. When interest rates are up, believe it or not, I make money, because then I invest in CDs and things like that. And if I'm worried about the economy on long term, then I try to stay with bonds as much as possible. Even though they don't pay as much as a lot of other avenues, they're a little safer. Now, the money market completely depends on the government, and it's up and down, and you can do okay, but you won't keep up with inflation for some reason on the money market. You just can't. In the last few years, I took a big hit. What I actually had at that time is worth between 30 and 40% less. And you never get that back, by the way. There's just not enough money out there to give it back to you. The smart people change their funds quickly, and they find their way into the better aspects of the market, and they ride that market up while the rest of the things are kind of going down. But trying to second guess it is very hard for somebody like me. I'm not an expert in that. I know a while back I had some people come in there pretending like they wanted some advice, and then all of a sudden there'd be about 20 right below them, or maybe 10 below them. And, it didn't take long to figure out they're just using my channel to promote things like Bitcoin or investments and stuff. It was kind of a goodbye. I don't need you on here, especially if people think that I believe in some of that stuff, that I don't want to get blamed for pushing them in the wrong direction. For Milltown's Best, Super Dave was on there today in a very good mood, and I seen something happen that I've never seen before. A guy got on there and started buying memberships for people, and just kept buying them. And I think Dave has a new record for, if you go by percentage in particular, of people not only giving memberships away, by probably one of the fastest grossing memberships in nothing more than 15 or 20 minutes of time. That was phenomenal. And I got a pat on the back. I got a pat on the back of the person that made that for the people that are following Super Dave, and especially for Super Dave, since I know he's put a lot of hard work and deserves the recognition of having so many members that are getting that next step up or boost, and are in his what he calls besties. That is quite a deal, and my hats are off to you, Dave, and also to Dave that gave. It was a good deal. There was a lot of people out there, and he's live today, and I see every time he's up, he seems to gain a little bit. So I'm assuming that people like the message that he's putting out there. I would recommend for anybody that likes it to go over there. Super Dave has grown a lot and it seems like every week he can come up with something new and refreshing out there to talk about. And it crosses all the lines of ages and things that you might want to think. So please give him a try. Go over there to Super Dave. And Darwin's channel is growing a little bit. Anybody that likes to listen to good sense, I would say go over to see Darwin. He does have a lot of knowledge, and he does make sense. He follows on my channel and Two Lees, and he's Super Dave, and I think maybe I don't know if he goes over to Guapo's channel for sure or not. I think he does. But he's out there doing his best to share that knowledge with everybody out there, so give him a chance. And Bruce Matskin, I want to really, he had some good news on the channel on Two Lees. The federal charges are going to carry on, so that maybe, just maybe, there'll be some relief coming for John and Michelle and family. Looks like the courts have decided they're going to bring it to fruition to happen. That it's not going to be thrown out by the judicial system, and so it's going to be heard, and that has to do with, in a way, you can call it harassment. And I think it's going to be important to watch it to see what avenues are being used by both the lawyers that will be involved in this. It'll certainly be of interest to everybody that has followed the dispute there in Otter Creek. And also on there was somebody that was upset because they had been helping out, as my understanding, helping out Michelle and John for quite some time, and didn't feel they were getting enough credit. And I don't really know a whole lot about it. I've seen the name on there a few times, and I know, I'm a latecomer to the whole system, although I've jumped in there and said my piece numerous times on different channels. But hopefully it doesn't get into another little dispute on the internet here. When you get multiple channels fighting with each other, it gets to be a dog fight, and then people get their nose bent out for different reasons. And I can understand when people are butthurt because they may feel that they want credit for the things that they do. But you don't always get the pat on the back that you want sometimes, and you kind of have to go with the flow. All of us fit into the plan, God's plan. And when we're trying to help somebody out, and we have that in common, let's try to agree, and at least we have that one entity that we're following, if it be so. And in the case of with John and Michelle, they've been through so much that I'm hoping that the people that have helped or followed through or are interested in helping them keep doing it that way. And the people that are that feel they've been left out, please accept any apology I might have, because I just don't know who it is that was following. Understand that if you get out in the forefront of things and you're really known, sometimes your bell is rang by others. And when you come forward and you say, well, you didn't get enough credit, sometimes it's called ringing your own bell. And if you have to do it to get noticed, that's fine. If you're actually asking if you can do more help, that's better yet. So, butthurt or not, if you wish to join in and help in the seeing that the right things are happening for John and Michelle, please do it. And if you wish to do it on your own and then private with that family, that's fine too. But if you were left out, it's not because any of us that I'm aware of would do it purposely, because I don't see them going out picking on people that don't deserve it. So there again, hopefully we get things back on the right track. I don't even know the names of some of the people that felt bad about it. I have tried to give credit to all the citizens of Otter Creek, and I've had several tell me to keep my nose out of it, and I never know if it is somebody from someplace else or not. When I talk about Otter Creek, it's because I've had experience in small towns, and I try to lessen the blow of why they're catching such hell from somebody. And I don't think they deserve the recognition type that's negative to the town. You know, most of the people there, I think, just want to be left alone. That's my opinion. And I do know a few people there, and I do converse back and forth with some. I've had others contact me that I haven't necessarily contacted back, but it doesn't mean I don't appreciate them or understand their particular view. When I don't mention them by name, it is to, unless they ask me to say their name, I'm not going to. Let's put it that way. There's a few there that would not deserve the heat that comes down on them. They don't need that, because they do wish to be in the background, not necessarily in the forefront. Being in the forefront puts you in the line of fire. And for most of us out there that have been there, we've received all kinds of threats. This one the other day is pretty serious about wanting to burn that fence that just got delivered. I thought that was pretty rotten of anybody to say it, but they didn't just say it. They put a picture up of a pile of debris that was burning. So that, to me, that's inciting a riot. It really is. It's inciting. I don't have much else to say out there. I hope you can take all this without getting upset. I hope I haven't hurt anybody with what I'm saying, and you know, I don't have a hateful intent on any of it. I get to laughing sometimes, and people probably get upset with my laughing, because what might tickle my bones a little bit may not be as funny to you. And I realize sometimes I say something that maybe, if the shoe fits but it's a little tight and it makes you squirm a little bit, I really don't want to upset you to the point where you can't put the shoes on. We all have a lifestyle, and it is our own. And if we've got as far as what we have already, then it can't be all wrong. At least I hope not. That's it, I think. You know, it's a pretty decent Friday out there. I don't want to ruin it by ruining somebody's day, that's for sure. So all of you out there in Otter Creek, if I hope I haven't disparaged anybody out there. I love small towns, and I've lived in so many places and met so many people, and I always try to blend in if possible with the citizenry in that area. And as far as Florida, I've been to Florida multiple times. One of my brothers lived down there. Or he did. I mean, he's passed away now. And one of my neighbors that happens to be a snowbird, I've visited him down there. So I do love Florida, and I've never had any problem with the residents down there. Having lived in different states in the South, I have an affinity for it, and there's been many a time, especially in the winter time, that I wished I still lived there. And in fact, when I retired, I had this big motorhome that I drove around the country with my wife and I did, and our pets, so we could see the things we hadn't seen while I was in construction. And if age hadn't caught up with me, I'd still be doing it. Boy, I'm having trouble with my throat again. I just got rid of my motorhome a year and a half ago, and it was, it was kind of hard watching it leave. But a young family bought it with kids, and they love it, and I'm glad that it was somebody bought the darn thing that's going to be able to use it, and they looked very happy when they left. I didn't cry about it, but that we've had many good times in it, and yeah. If I hadn't sold it, I probably would have made multiple trips down there to Florida. Years ago, I was on my way to go see my brother down there, and we had a different motorhome back then. And I got part way there, and a hurricane hit his area and did a considerable amount of damage. And I stopped, and we turned around and went home. Oh my goodness, we felt bad that we couldn't make it down there. We knew that even though we would have a place in our motorhome, that it was going to be such a mess where we wanted to end up at, that we'd be driving down there looking for a place, and when things are flooded and tore up, and there's certain roads you can't get on, and my brother, his screen house on his pool, it was blown completely apart, and part of his fence, and he had to have part of his roof fixed, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. So I put it off, and I did make it there the next year, but better late than never, right? And I've been down to all along the coast, on the Atlantic coast of Florida there. Quite different, really, than the Gulf Coast. I love the Gulf Coast. The light-colored sand and all that. It's truly a paradise when you get out on a beach out there and enjoy it, and everybody seems to be in a happy mood when they're out there. It was an enjoyable time, so I have nothing but good thoughts for Florida and the people who live there. So all you guys in Otter Creek, please don't think ill of us guys that are trying to help you out, because that's all it is. We're trying to help you. We're not your enemy, not in the least. So you guys have a good day out there, and all of you that are helping John and Michelle, and their little child, just consider everybody as part of one family that's moving in the right direction. With that, I'm going to let you go and have a great weekend.